welcome to Rokk Around the Clock. Daily cloud gaming news live at the same time, Monday to Friday. But first, if you're new to the show, please subscribe and hit the bell. If you'd like to support the channel, why not hit the join button on the channel homepage and become a member of Team Rokk. Hello, it's me. Do you remember me? I'm that old fella from a long time ago, from the days of the dinosaurs. Well, maybe not quite that old, but getting on. Great to see you. Great to see you. Thanks for popping in, guys. Absolutely flipping perb. It's Wednesday. It's been a long time coming. There's a song about that, I'm sure of it. I'm not nervous, but I'm kind of a tad apprehensive. I hope you guys can hear me. Let me know in the chat, as they say, because it's a brand new setup, although it looks very similar to the original show. I had to make quite a few changes. Oh, look! River the Beaver, enjoy Team Rokk, 'cause he's a lovely fella, and I love you too, my friend. It's a little scene uncut from the original West End musical of Oliver. It's true. That was in Oliver, sung by Fagin. It's very true. Loud and clear. Thanks, Bethlehem, my good dear friend Bjorn. Bjorn gave me a lesson the other day. You guys who are into Destiny are going to find this interesting because, of course, the Galahorn, as we've all traditionally called it, is actually from Nordic legend. I don't know what it means. I haven't a clue. Huge happy birthday to... Oh, it's Ryan's birthday, ladies and gentlemen. It's a bit of Ryan's birthday. Come on, all together. Ready? 1, 2. We don't care about copyright. All together. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ryan. Mr. Beaver. Happy birthday to you. Yay! Do you see that? Watch this. Yay! Look, how cool is that? I forgot I'd set that up. Yeah, look at that. Oh, mate, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. What are we talking? 20, early 20? Oh, Neil's just popped in, sneakily checking in while teaching a class. That's what we love, isn't it, hey? Oh, mate, that is such a brilliant start to Good News Wednesday, because that's what it is. It's the Wednesday, it's the worst day of the week, isn't it? Wednesday. I suppose Monday you could argue is worse, because at least you've got the pessimism of Monday and Tuesday out of the way, and you've got all the good news Thursday and Friday to come. Now, that's great news. Well done, my friend. Absolutely many happy returns, and I'm sure the wife is going to spoil you rotten today. My birthday, as you asked, is coming up in January. Very cold. I've never had a barbecue on my birthday. I've never been able to go out and have a party in the garden or anything nice like that. It's always been so miserable. And it comes just after Christmas as well. So everyone's gone, mate, you had your presents. Get out of here. Jog on. It's worse for my brother. His birthday's January the 1st. Ouch. See, I think if you have your birthday on Christmas Day, it's actually quite cool because you get double celebrations and, you can get double presents. I don't know how people do it. Maybe they open their Christmas presents in the morning. If, of course, by the way, caveat, you celebrate the Christmas period. Not everybody does, of course. In fact, we had a guest in our house last Christmas who is of the Islamic faith, and so had never celebrated Christmas. Not strictly true, because he'd gone to a boarding school in England, so which was a Christian boarding school. So obviously he was aware of the ceremony of Christmas, but he himself had never celebrated in somebody's home. So it was a lovely experience, actually, to have him. No, don't get me wrong, we don't sit around and pray and all that malarkey. It's all kind of the commercial Christmas that we've all come to know and love. But it was great to open our house up to him. Bulls for life. How are you, my friend? So many things, so many people. What a wonderful return. Thank you, guys. Galahorn, I remembered. So, of course, it's a Nordic thing. I'm not sure if it's a weapon or a musical instrument or what. But I did ask Björn. That's how you say it, by the way, guys. If you're going to say it properly, it's Björn. The O is like an Björn. I said to him, how do you pronounce it? Now, he actually sent me a recording, so I'm probably going to get this wrong, but it was like Gialehurn. Gialehurn. So you actually pronounce the G and the Y of the J, because you know a lot of countries J is pronounced as a Y, like Jesus. So Gialehurn. So if you say Galahorn, you're not a million miles out, are you really? Gialahurn. I think that kind of works. Dorrigan, my lovely friend, great to see you. Thank you. Oh, Miss Phoenix joined Team Rokk, which means she has been with us for 8 months. That's fantastic. And I'm amazed that this stuff's working on the screen because I didn't test it. Here we go. Bjorn's here, ladies and gentlemen. In Norse mythology, Gialehurn is a horn associated with the god Heimdallr. It's gone. And the wise being Mimir. The sound of Heimdallr's horn will herald the beginning of Ragnarok. Wow. Is it Ragnarok? Because it would be the same as Bjorn. Ragnarok. I love it. I genuinely cannot wait to visit and see my lovely friend. Dad plays games. See, we've been off the air so long, but Streamlabs is celebrating all of your renewals. Thank you so much, guys. 14 months. I was fascinated to find out earlier. I don't know why I didn't know this, but Greta Thunberg, who is currently was today in a court in the UK being charged with public offences, which she was basically marching. There's the trouble with my country and my government. They recently brought out laws that made it basically an offence to even walk around a high street with a placard. Anyway, she pleaded innocent and I was all good. I didn't realise she was from Sweden. I didn't know this. So much. Everything seems to converge on Bjorn, doesn't it? It's like, all the game studios and like the history of Baldur's Gate and everything. So all kind of comes in on Bjorn. It's amazing. It's just bloody amazing is what it is. Miss Phoenix, how are you, darling? Great to see you. What a fantastic... Thank you so much for popping in, guys. It's you know, there's a little bit of it's a monumental thing, really. I've been off for a bit. Greta's mom, says Bjorn, is actually an opera singer and has competed for Sweden. Wow. And of course, Sweden won the Eurovision this year with, Stuck on You Like an Old Tattoo, or whatever it was called. It's actually an amazing song. I've played it a few times this week, funnily enough, because, full disclosure here, there's a show in the UK, it probably exists elsewhere, it's called Celebrity Come Dancing or something like that, Strictly Come Dancing or something. And Lorraine, and they had this, there's all celebrities and they dance, basically. Now, my girls watch it for the dance, and indeed, they're going, oh, look at the double and the pas the thing and the positioning and the core and all. I'm just listening to the music. I just love the music. More so because it's performed live by a fairly small orchestra and a small ensemble of singers. But every song they sing sounds like the original song. And indeed, they had chosen Tattoo for one specific track, which was amazing. And it kind of got me in the mood. So I've been listening to that. And of course, next year, if you guys, it's a global phenomenon, isn't it? Eurovision. It's kind of, you know what I mean? It's a load of people know it, don't they? They all know it. You know, Australia loves it. Israel have performed, Australia have performed. It's no longer European. It's kind of like, hey, you know what? If you want to be in, you're in. I can't wait for the Americans to turn up. Or the Canadians. We have a great connection with our Canadian friends. Obviously, lots of Europeans. It was a bit of a colony thing at one point, as a lot of these countries were. Say no more. That would be cool. Anyway, next year it's in Sweden, and I would love to go. But there's an issue. One is money. The other is that we have committed as a family to go to Paris, in fact, most of France, for the Olympics, because it's in France next year. Tickets have been purchased. So I kind of feel like it might not happen, but I would so love to go. William, my great friend, thanks for popping in, brother. Hope you're keeping well, my friend. Hope everything on the physical and mental level is absolutely perfect for you on this happiest of Wednesdays. Now, I'm just trying to remember, because I'm getting on, if there was anything else that I was talking about beyond Gjallarhorn. And I don't know. I can't remember. But it doesn't matter, because it's Wednesday and we're together. And I love you. I love you all. Thank you. And it's Ryan's birthday. Neil J, who popped in a second ago, he had a ton of good news things. Unfortunately, he's teaching, as he said, so he's unable to join us live. But I'm just going to remind myself, because he had some great good news. I mean, I don't know if it can eclipse Ryan's birthday, to be honest, but he said, my good news has been getting paid for some work that I didn't think I was going to get paid for, which is awesome. A water leak costing far less than expected. We don't. At my time of life, we don't want water leaks, ladies and gents. No, Ray will be he's hot on my heels. Ray's going to know all about water leaks in the not too distant future, I can assure you. And a friend. This is nice. A friend who is very ill. Is feeling very ill, ill feeling, having some relief from experimental treatment. And Rudigs, who's joined us today, walking his dog in the park, thank you, my friend. Neil actually puts in brackets, in parentheses, he says, Rudigs would know what I mean, ! So I'm guessing that that's something to do with the medicinal powers of certain spicy plants. I'm sure there's a lot more that we can discover about our medicinal friends. And another friend's bladder cancer has completely disappeared after following a special diet and intermittent fasting. That is amazing, actually. That is amazing that there is hope for us all. If you can literally cure cancer from changing what you eat and intermittent fasting, wow, I'd love to see if there's any more research done into that. So thanks for sharing that earlier, Neil. That's absolutely superb. I'm so pleased that you're having a great Wednesday. As for me, I'm just trying to think. I'm not having a bad Wednesday, to be honest with you guys. I've obviously been wrestling with some stuff for a few weeks now. But I've been itching. Sorry, look, I'm banging this thing around, which if you're thinking to yourself, Rokk, what is that noise? Stop it. It's like watching an episode of Most Haunted. I can show you. You'll probably find this quite funny. Following on from the quip not that long ago about waterworks and age, it's actually a pair of spectacles, which I wear like this. Because my eyesight's not actually that bad. But if I need to look at my phone and concentrate, and I'm maybe a bit tired, or I've been looking at the screen for a bit, I pop these little fellas on. I love these because, apart from looking like an old schoolmaster, boy, will you sit down? Apart from looking like an old schoolmaster, they allow the majority of my vision to continue unimpaired. They're a thing of beauty. I love these. But they come in a metallic case. Hang on, I'll show you again. There it is, like a metallic case, you see. I keep messing with stuff. I'm terrible, and stuff's around me. But my daughter, oh, look at this. Ray's daughter's 23 today. Wow. My youngest, let's get this right. My youngest is 20. My eldest is 23, 24. So there you go, Ray. In fact, you were even older than I was, I guess, when I had my eldest. But that's fantastic news. What a great day for birthdays. Isn't it? What a happy day. Are you liking the new relaxing music, by the way? You see, I had, I don't know, a few weeks ago, I wasn't on air, as it were. I wasn't looking where I was going, says Phoenix. I was reading chat and fell in a bush. No, go watch those bushes, Phoenix. Yes, I've got some local good news in a little while that I'll impart, Sam, that will resonate as you live in these here parts. Excuse me one second, guys. Let's grab a drink. 26. Careful, Phoenix, says Ryan. Yeah, absolutely, mate. So, a few weeks ago, I sold my gaming rig, my gaming PC. I'd looked at it in all seriousness, and I thought, you know what? It cost £2,500. Let's call it $2,800 2 years ago. Substantial piece of kit. And I valued it, and it was coming in at about $950, right, if I sold it. And I thought, it's a lot of money. And truthfully, I've got this MacBook, which I only ever kind of was using at night, and it's a powerful unit. It's a 2023 M2 model, so they've just refreshed them. But if you watch any of the pundits, they all say don't update if you've got one that's less than 2 years old. There's no point. So I thought, I've got this piece of kit, never really pushed it to its limits, wonder how good it will be if I used it as my daily driver, right? So I got rid of the old PC, kissed it goodbye. It was actually really nice. Sold it on Facebook to a relatively local chap who I did meet, obviously, and he was very nice, and he is going to use it for gaming, and he was really excited. And it's lovely when you sell stuff to people that you know are going to look after it, right? Like an old puppy, basically. Anyway, got rid of that. Got my MacBook in place. Still have Shadow, though I haven't used it much recently because I've been playing a lot of GeForce Now stuff. Haven't needed to do all my modded games and things. But this MacBook's blown me away. Not only is it happily powering the 4K monitor and the 1440 monitor, but if I lift the lid, I could get the third monitor in as well. I've actually come to the decision to close the lid so I can get these two monitors in more closely, and that's working nicely for me. Really powerful. Running OBS a treat, no issues at all over here. I'm just loving the decision that I made, but like an absolute idiot, I did back everything up. I thought I'd backed everything to the cloud. I did some exports from OBS, made sure I had all my templates and my themes and my setup and everything. But for some reason, I think I backed up the wrong one. Because when I came to set OBS up the other day, it was my old Stadia Rokk around the clock. Nothing like Larry and all that malarkey. So I've had to rebuild it. And I've done some sneaky things. I've downloaded old videos of Rokk around the clock so I can extract audio. You've already seen music that's been extracted. But it also gave me an opportunity to create a new playlist. I thought I'd go for something a bit more chill. Because, it's like more me, I think. And we were getting some rap and all sorts of weird stuff coming in, weren't we? So I got rid of all that. And so that's what we have now. And I'm very happy, having made the decision just to rid myself of the old PC. Still have my Asus ROG Ally, which, to be fair, if Shadow suddenly disappeared, I think I'd bring that in and make that part of this mix and do that as well. So Bjorn says, I had to ask Shadow to reset my virtual machine. I had set a Windows password and forgot it. Ouch. Do you know, Bjorn, the only thing, because I really like Shadow, and I genuinely, as a Windows alternative, it's perfect. I don't think they sell the major benefits enough. Because I believe in this world of subscriptions, you subscribe to Netflix, you subscribe to Amazon Prime, we subscribe to GeForce Now. Everything is basically subscription-based, right? Oh, wow, suddenly got very cinematic, building up to my Shadow pitch. For me, they're not pushing the fact that what you're getting is a whole Windows PC, and not just any old Windows PC, a really decent piece of kit. With a 3060 and decent amount of RAM and a whole CPU and everything. for, less than if you were, it depends, because you can get variants now. You don't have to go for the really expensive version. You can have one that's half that price and one that's half that price again. So if you only want or only need occasional use of things like spreadsheets and stuff, they've got like a $10 a month option now, which is amazing. So I just don't think they push it. I just don't think they sell it enough. And I think obviously it's a virtual PC in the cloud, but I think they don't tackle the price head on, because in my estimation, my £2,500 PC, right, to 2,500 sterling PC, 2 years after buying it, was worth less than half of that. In fact, a third of that, right? Because that's what you get, wear and tear, isn't it? Depreciation. And if instead I'd have put £50 down, £600 a year, 2 years later, I'd have actually spent less than I lost in the value of the PC that I sold. And I valued it exactly. I did the proper research. You see my point, can't you? You see, you don't have to own the physical kit. Now, of course, you do need decent Wi-Fi or at least decent broadband. But that's the case for all of our world these days, isn't it? It doesn't matter what we do. Whatever it is, you're going to need decent broadband. And it's getting cheaper and more prevalent and stuff. Anyway, I didn't come on here to sell them, but my point is my migration from physical PC to laptop. This laptop blows me away, by the way. Just the power of the thing. What I'm able to do, I've got my camera running off of this. I've got my microphone running off of this. I've got 2 heavy-duty monitors, and I'm streaming. And I can tell you now, OBS is using 3.7% of my CPU. In fact, I can look up here and see that at the moment, OBS, Microsoft Edge, Wavelink, which is the mic software, Camo Studio, which is this application that I use for my camera, which allows me to put a bit of blur in, and it's the stuff that NVIDIA Broadcast does, but it's just a much nicer interface. And do this! All of that is using 70% of my RAM, so I've still got a ton of RAM left. I'm happy with it. I'm really happy with it. And I can play all the games that I've always been able to play because, as you guys know, I mainly play in the cloud. And if I need to install a game remotely, I can install it on Shadow, or I can put it on my Ally. So nothing in my world has diminished. Rouster, great to see you, Adam. How are you, dude? Thank you, my friend. It's wonderful to have you join us as well. I hope you're keeping well, bro. So, shall we make our way over to Larry and see what... I've got some great good news lined up. Do you remember when we do our Good News Wednesday, we always have a look at the Good News website, don't we? All the happiness. I'm going to do it. He's good. He's got a super busy day. That's why he's got them super pecs. What's a pec? What's a Gregory? Is that a pec? That thing there? I can't remember now. It is, isn't it? That's a pec? I'm sure it is. I think it is. What does FKA Raven mean, Ryan? FKA? Do you mean FKA? Is this a term that I'm not familiar with? Or did you mean AKA, as in also known as? Pec is the chest muscle. There you go, you see. For those of us that don't have them, hands up. That's why I don't have a clue. I've gone dark, but don't worry. It's because I needed to get my camera screen back. So it's all good, isn't it? Formerly known as. Do you know, I'd not heard that one before. Makes perfect sense. Absolutely it does. Ryan, hold your horses, my friend, because we're going to pop over to Larry. Hopefully this is all going to work. Here we go. I'm here. Larry's here. Pectoral equals chest. Delt shoulder. Biceps, of course it is, Adam. Thank you, my friend. I've been doing a little bit of exercise, ladies and gentlemen. I've got to tell you this, a little bit of good news from my mum's misfortune. That's a story. So my dear old mum, largely housebound, it has to be said. My dear old dad, who's he's just had his 80th birthday, and he's not, his age is ravaging, bless him. Because he's a diabetic, he struggles walking and what have you. So they decided they would get him an exercise bike. Now, my mum, although she's on the computer a lot, like all the time, and she has a little eBay business, ladies and gentlemen. She does. She makes those little cards, depage or whatever they're called. The little pop-up 3D things, and sells them for ridiculous amounts of money, like £4 for a thing that took her all day. I mean, I'm always telling her, "Al, how are you, bro? Good to see you, my friend." On eBay. She she decided she would buy my dad an exercise bike just to get him exercise, doing some of the stuff he needs to do. He's getting on. I don't know how she managed this, ladies and gentlemen. She bought 3, but not just from the same company. No, 2 from one and 1 from another. I don't know how she managed it. And they were trying to convince her that it was tough and she'd have to pay. And I pointed out that under distance selling regulations, particularly in the EU, that is not tough. They actually have to honour the fact that it's not required. Anyway, long story short, she did manage to get her money back. And then she got in touch with me a week ago and she said, we've decided that maybe the exercise bike wasn't a great idea for Dad, so I'm going to get him a running machine. A running machine? He's 80 years old and he can't walk. I'm like, this is a massive recipe for disaster, Mum. What the heck are you thinking? No, he'll be happier because he can walk and hold the sides. Okay, anyway, this was the plan. Would you like to buy the exercise bike? And you can have it half price, and I'll put the half in as your Christmas present. Oh, bless her. So of course I will. I'd love to. So anyway, I have an exercise bike, which is just over here, which was never planned, but I didn't have a lot of room in here in the first place. Martin, how are you, dude? Great to see you. Great to see you. I hope you're keeping well, my friend. Absolutely great to see you. I have an exercise bike, and I've been on it. I did about 6 minutes today. Don't laugh. That's 4 kilometres at my pace and my time of life. I've got to build up. I'll be doing a minute a day, adding more minutes. We'll get there. It's all going to be good. And right behind me, which you also can't see, is a keyboard. And I don't mean a typing. I mean a musical one. Although it's an old one. I've just got it down from the loft. I'm just kind of feeling creative at the moment. I want to be doing Claire de Lune and making up my own stuff. So slow and steady wins the race. You got it, Adam. Better to go slow. Absolutely, my friend. I think it's take me a little while. But I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. I'm loving life at the moment. It's all good. So let's take a look, ladies and gentlemen, at the good news today, shall we? So, as you know, this is our goodnewsnetwork.org website, which is brilliant. I don't know why I'm looking over here. Let me just tell people off for doing this. So let me put me there, and then there we go. Now I'm looking at this, and we start. This is this young fellow here. You may be able to see behind him. I think that's Tower Bridge in London, where what's his face suspended himself in a glass box. I've forgotten his name. You know who I'm talking about. The magician fella. Haven't seen much of him of late though. I think the last time I saw that dude, it was doing something with MLB. Marquis LeBron. What's he called, guys? What's that? David Blaine. Thank you, Sam. Sam's always on the case. Absolutely right, Sam. Yeah, David Blaine in a glass box, suspended off of a crane just by Tower Bridge for, I can't remember, it was something ridiculous like 40 days. Without food and drink. I did watch a documentary once that suggested you could certainly do the food, no problem, but you couldn't do it without water. So there must have been some way they got water to him. It was probably down the cable that was connecting the thing to the crane. Anyway, it's all magic, isn't it? So this fellow, look, Good Samaritan here, wearing, I'm not sure what that flag is actually. Is it Spanish? Is it a Spanish flag? Good Samaritan surprising strangers with kindness every day for 3 years. Is crowned UK hero, and they've given him a statue. Look at this. This is amazing. Let's read his story. Sebi Hall, assuming that's Sebastian, was just 17 when he decided to dedicate his life to helping others. I tell you, that's an amazing commitment to do, and we should all be doing this. And it took only 3 years for the nation, that's ours, to recognise him as a hero, as the UK's kindest person. He works tirelessly to help others and has founded his own charity to encourage others to follow his lead, the Sebi Hall Kindness Foundation. Lovely. Which helps vulnerable youngsters. During his 3 years of good work, he donated 400 coats and blankets to homeless charities, gifted 800 toys to children's homes, and even used his own pocket money during his teens to pay for strangers' coffees. Oh, bless him. Now he's 20, running around an invisible photo there. I'm not sure what's going on. The kind hero from Lichfield, who was born with a rare chromosome anomaly. You always find this, don't you? You tend to find the kindest people are those that have in some way afflicted themselves. You know what I mean? People with a ME or cancer or whatever. These are the guys that go, do you know what? I'm gonna make a difference. We should follow in their example, shouldn't we? With a rare chromosome anomaly, initially started spreading kindness during lockdown, as did many, after discovering classmates didn't have access didn't have access to a computer. His first thought was to donate his own device, but conscious this wouldn't help all his pals, he raised money to buy him a laptop by carrying out kind acts. So, hang on a minute. Classmates didn't have access to a computer, but if they were at home, it could only have been one classmate, couldn't it? Or siblings, unless he bought multiple computers. Maybe he did. He raised money by carrying out acts like washing cars. Following a search for the UK's kindest people, sponsored by Kind Snacks. I'm not aware of Kind Snacks in the UK, are you guys? Kind Snacks. Let me have a little look what a kind snack is. Kind. I wonder if kind comes from the German Kinder, for child. Here at Kind, we think, I'm not aware of Kind Snacks. I wonder if it's like a relatively new thing. Oh, here you go. It's a bit like Naked. Dark chocolate, nuts and sea salt. Huh, actually sounds really nice. Dark chocolate, nuts and sea salt. Yeah, I'm in. Chocolate chip cashew, maple pecan almond. Oh, I'm in. Almond and coconut. Not so sure on the old coconut. Can't get stuck in my old teeth. Caramel, almond and sea salt. Hey, I'm liking these. A caramelized biscuit nut. Oh, all sounds good. Football's in there for some reason. Not sure why. I guess that's probably where doing much of their marketing. Here they are, look, with the English ladies squad. Proud partner. Very good. Well, I don't know who's behind this, but looks like a pretty cool setup, doesn't it? What about Sam? She always knows. Let me see. Sea salt. Then fans are gamers. How are you, dude? Hi, brother. I'm getting OLED Steam next year. That's awesome. Hope you are awesome, mate. I'm in a great place in my life. Fantastic, Brandon. Great to hear that, my friend. Long may it continue. I've heard some great stuff about the OLED Steam Deck. Yes, me too. I've heard some amazing stuff about the OLED. It's supposed to be very, very good. Anyway, this guy's been crowned, bless him. Tower Bridge, I was right. They've put a little statue up near Tower Bridge alongside the likes of Captain Cook, Winston Churchill, Joe Newby, And the Kind Snacks 2022 hero who has fostered 92 children in her time as a volunteer foster mum. Wow. 92, that's amazing. What a fantastic difference to so many people's lives. Anyway, there you go. I think that's lovely. Bless him. And we got the right music today, haven't we, as well? Sebi's story in particular highlights the importance of kindness and its transformative power in driving positive changes for others. Well, so say I. Do you know there's that thing, isn't there, about doing a random act of kindness? Oh, have I missed? I'm probably missing some of you lovely folk as you're coming in. I'm sorry if I am. I don't mean to. I don't mean to be rude. I really don't. But I am occasionally. I blame age. It's fantastic. Kids, it's fantastic when you get old because you can blame everything on it. It's brilliant. There's a reason you walk down the street and some old fella goes, I'm 86, you know, because it's just a great excuse. You can do something. You can grow old disgracefully and nobody cares. It's amazing. Windstar, 13 months. Great to see you, brother. Portal arrives today. So many people getting their PlayStation portals. Dorgan and Rudigs did a fantastic show earlier, by the way, ladies and gents. Go and look it up. And Dorgan did a great breakdown of the whole, all the good things and all the bad things on the portal. So definitely worth checking that out. And so many people are getting it. It's brilliant. So many people. I think it's at that price point. It's cheaper in the US than it is here by about £50. Which, you know, I think it's that kind of, for me, if it was $150 UK, I might consider getting one. The problem is I don't really have the use case for it. I fired up PS Remote earlier on my PC and it was playing fine. Couldn't play the cloud stuff. And this is actually quite annoying for me because so much of what I do these days is cloud. But my understanding is that that's the same for the portal anyway. So horses for courses, ain't it? Yeah, check out their video. Honestly, very good. Did a great job, as they always do, talking about PlayStation stuff, and a really good breakdown of the portal. So yeah, good luck with that. Hope you have fun. I hope it really tickles your trout. Let us know in the comments what and where. If you do a box opening and stuff as well, let us have a link. That'll be cool. Put that down in the comments as well. That'll be very, very good. So there you go. That was Seb. Now then, oh hello. It's flushed. This was Sam. This was the one I wanted to show you. Now it says Native American headdress set to be returned to Blackfoot homeland after century in UK museum. And I looked at that and I thought, that looks like the headdress they have at the Royal Albert Memorial Museum, otherwise known as the RAM, here in Exeter, where I live. Well, blow me, ladies and gents, because it is, and it was. So I was very, look at this. So there's a beautiful old Victorian museum, clearly, because it's called the Royal Albert, who, of course, if you all know, the Royal Albert was the Queen Victoria's husband, the Queen's consort. He was never king, because he wasn't born in the UK. He came from Germany, I believe. But the Memorial Museum was set up to commemorate his life. And to be fair, I'm not a massive royalist, but Albert did do a lot of good. He did really care. And definitely worth checking out his story as well. He also introduced things like the Christmas tree out of Germany into the rest of Europe via Victoria. Anyway, it's an old Victorian museum. It's a gorgeous place. Been going there since I was Dot in a pushchair. And they indeed do have a Native American, and have had my whole life, a whole floor dedicated to Native American and other global cultures as well. But that headdress, I remembered it. a sacred Native American headdress set to be returned to its original owners after being displayed for more than a century, 1920, at the Royal Albert Memorial Museum in Exeter. Woohoo! I used to go to school summer club at the Royal Albert Memorial Museum when I was a kid. I used to go of a morning and do brass rubbings and lectures on mummies and stuff. Love it. Love it. Known as a bird bundle, it features eagle feathers, blue indigo bunting feathers, red-tailed hawk feathers, buffalo horns, porcupine quills, and brass bells. The item was identified as a sacred ceremonial item 10 years ago by elders from the Sikiska tribe of the Blackfoot Nation, and last year a delegation from the community visited the museum to discuss reclaiming the item. Can you imagine? You're the old museum curator. We can do this. Hang on a minute. Right, here he comes. All right, here we are.
Hello? Yes, I am indeed the museum curator.
We've got a couple of fellas at the door, sir, wanting to see you.
Oh, yes, they probably want to know about my beautiful museum, and I will talk to them if they want.
Doors open, and in walk half a dozen massive, burly, Native American, quite angry-looking dudes.
Oh, hello, gents. What can I help you with?
We want our headdress back. No problem. Give them a flippin' headdress. You can imagine it, can't you? Wow. These are genuine glasses. And they are, but not very often. Do you have USA old weapons? Yeah, they do. They have some really old, amazing stuff in the museum. Just Google RAM, RAM, Royal Albert Memorial Museum, and you'll see all that stuff in there. Exeter City councillors decided on November the 8th, presumably this year, to return the item, which traditionally is worn by a holy woman of the Holy Buffalo Woman Society, known as Motokiks. The headdress was acquired by Edgar Dewdney. Now there's Sam, Miss Phoenix, will know and recognise the Dewdney name locally. We have Ivor Dewdney's. Is that Ivor Dewdney's? Or is it just Dewdney's? The butchers. We have a couple of Dewdney brothers that play rugby for the local rugby team. So there you go, didn't know that. And a Canadian MP, nonetheless, who worked as a Canadian rail surveyor and became Indian commissioner in the country in 1892. Reports say it remains a mystery how he specifically acquired the item. I got a fairly good idea. Probably involved a crate of whiskey. The report to the Executive Council said the debate on repatriation is a fast-moving one, and agreeing to the return would demonstrate that Exeter City Council, through the Royal Albert Memorial Museum, is prepared to lead sectoral change. There's a massive debate going on in across the world. Has been for a few years now. Most museums are made up of other people's objects, aren't they? You do get the odd one that is specifically about local stuff, but most of the big museums have items from various countries and various cultures. On the one hand, it's quite useful. You get to go and see objects that you wouldn't normally see. But on the other hand, these belong to these people, don't they? And, you kind of have to, at some point, decide, should we hand them back? Or maybe it's a simple treaty that says we absolutely recognise this is your item in value, and we would love to leave it where it is, to take care of it, and you can borrow against it if you want to, which is what a lot of them do, or you can come and take it back, or we'll I think that's a good thing. The Elgin marbles come to mind. A beautiful frieze of engravings in marble from ancient Greece. There's also so many things, and you're right, Sam, museums are basically lost and found or grave robbers. The thing I always remember with the Royal Albert, and I'm sure it's the same with all museums the world over, what you see on display is a tiny fraction of what they've got back behind the scenes in massive rooms and locked cupboards and cabinets and filing cabinets and stuff, and lockups elsewhere that they've acquired because they get people, not so much these days, but back up until about the 1960s, they would have Lord such and such donating his collection of, African hunting trophies, for example. And there's lots of that stuff, and then they put on an exhibition in the name of Lord, what's his name, all that kind of thing. But it's good to see. We've had locally, we've had more than our fair share run-in with Native Americans. I actually think this is more likely to be Native Canadians, isn't it? Given, back to the Blackfoot Nation of Alberta, Canada. It says Native American headdress. I guess I get North America includes Canada, but it's the Alberta Canadians. We've had our run-in because our local rugby team, the Exeter Chiefs, originally had a logo which was, hang on, I can show you if I can do this without dropping the stuff, making a noise and breaking things. There we go. There we are. That original signed rugby ball from the Exeter Chiefs. It's a bit deflated now, sadly. But that was their original logo, which, as you can see, depicts a Native American. Anyway, came in for a bit of flack over the years for the use therein. And they decided a couple of years ago, last year, to change the logo. It's now a kind of, pre-Roman personage. God, blimey, brain. Come on, don't let me down. We've nearly finished. Anyway, Celtic individual. That's what I was looking for, which I actually don't think is a particularly great design either. A Viking chief. No, he's not a Viking chief. He's very much of the Isca Dumnoniorum tribe, which is, it may not even be Celtic, but it's that kind of thing. Anyway, they've sent it back. Everybody's happy. Siksika chief Uri Crowfoot stressed the sacred significance of the headdress. Says it will be used by the Holy Buffalo Women's Society as originally intended. They better look after it. Bringing these items back home is a historic event, he said. That's good though, all men's bridges and stuff. And it's got, it's not like they can turn around and say, well, that's cost us a fortune. It's been sat in a flipping glass box for 100 years. No, I don't like it very much either. Do you know, Sam, not that it's relevant anymore, I genuinely think that it looks like Jack Knowles asleep. You'll know what I mean. If you go and look at it, you'll know exactly what I mean. So anyway, that was the local bit of good news. A boy invents smart spoon for his uncle's trembling hands. That's affordable in India. That's nice. School teaches students on opposite ends of violent conflicts, reconciliation over revenge. That's always good to see. There was Kenyans flock to fields and parks to ring in 3-day weekend for new national tree planting holiday. Are they short of trees in Kenya then? You'd think it was fairly sort of... The truth is, most countries have been deforested to a ridiculous level. I take England, please, help yourself. We were once, all forest, and then now we're not. Agriculture saw off the trees, sadly. And now, you basically have a load of old crops, a few trees at the edge of a hedge, some woodland, which is primarily in England anyway, made up of fast-growing conifers that aren't native to this part of the world. Saddens me because I love trees. I have a real fondness for our arboreal cousins, once removed, twice, whatever, genetically. And there's just not enough of them around anymore. Now, this is why I love to go up to Scotland, or even up to North Wales, or Western Wales, or to America, in certain large forests in America, and Canada. Canada's just the most gorgeous country. I've only been to Vancouver and British Columbia, but I fell in love, I have to say. I love trees, and we've just done our damnedest to get rid of them, which is a real shame. Anyway, for some reason, Kenyans believe they need more trees. A bison herd, which is new to a specific park, has uncovered ancient petroglyphs with their hooves. This is interesting, fulfilling an indigenous prophecy. Ooh, let's find out more about this indigenous prophecy. Have I clicked? Yes, here we go. Here goes Rokk's Rokk. So, in a remarkable and inspiring occurrence, the reintroduction of plains bison to ancestral First Nation lands in Canada. We've got some more Canadian news today. This is amazing. Saw the beasts unearth important petroglyphs, and in doing so, fulfilling a prophecy held by the elders of the Dakota tribe. It states that when the bison, extinct in the area for over 100 years, finally return, the tribe's fortunes would change for the better. What's a petroglyph? I'm hoping I'm going to get to that point, Sam, because I haven't a clue. In 2019, a $40 million project on the Waniskewin Heritage Park, part of the National Park System of Canada, and which protects sacred land to several tribes, organised the reintroduction of bison. It was fascinating. I was watching a movie on Netflix with Nicolas Cage in, actually, recently, which is all about hunting bison, and pretty much from beginning to end. And it was saying at the end, there was a ridiculous amount of bison. If you go back to just after the American Civil War, and the massive building of railroads through the whole of America. Geek, how are you, brother? Great to see you, my friend. They, of course, destroyed masses of herds of buffalo. Twofold. One, to get rid of the Native Americans, because they took away their food, therefore you don't need to live here, boys, do you? And the second was to, obviously, they didn't want them literally railroading the railroad. And there was I can't remember the exact numbers, but it was ridiculous. It was like there were 300 million bison on the plains. And by the end of I'm going to make it up, 1880, so 20-ish years or 15, 20 years after the Civil War, it was down to like 3,000. I mean, it was just, or 300. Honestly, it was a stupid, unbelievable desecration. And that whole episode is just absolutely disgusting. It just not just wiping out virtually wiping out an animal that's been in America for millions of years, right the way through the Ice Age and everything. But to basically commit genocide by taking away the food. It's not good news, is it? But it's over. It's all happened. It's in the past. So they reintroduced bison. They took 6 female calves from Grasslands National Park in southern Saskatchewan and a male bull. Bulls for life. Hey! And 4 females with ancestry to Yellowstone. Lots of volcanic activity going on, ladies and gentlemen, around Yellowstone at the moment. All a bit dodgy. If it blows, 10 inches of ash across the whole of the US. Crops are dead. Traffic's gone. But it's not good news. The first sign that things were on the up and up for the Dakota came just 8 months after that, when the bison's hooves uncovered something that 40 years of... We're getting there now, Sam. 40 years of human archaeology couldn't. With a lack of organic material, the 2 petroglyphs carved it, and let's try and find out what it is, shall we? Hang on. Look up. There it is. Look up petroglyph. You can't see this, but it says that it is a rock carving, especially a prehistoric one. There you go. So the 2 petroglyphs carved into a pair of boulders were dated to between 300 and 1800 years ago, a span of time when the Dakota, the Nakota, the Assiniboines, Ojibwa, I'm sorry if I got that wrong, the Cree and the Blackfoot, all inhabited the area of Waniskewin at various periods. Archaeologist Ernie Walker told Diane Selkirk of Smithsonian Magazine that he was walking towards some bison who were enjoying a grassless area of dust called a wallow when he spotted a rock protruding awkwardly from the ground and a couple of bison with some chisels just knocking out a nice picture on the old petroglyph they were. Noticing a part of the rock had a deep groove cut into it, he began to remove dirt and dig the rock out a bit, revealing the crisscrossing lines of a ribstone, a ceremonial petroglyph carved to appear like the bison's rib cage. There you go. We'd found the detritus of everyday living, broken stone tools and things like that, Walker says, but we didn't find ideas. We didn't find emotions. The petroglyphs brought that. They're that other dimension. They're a glimpse into somebody's hopes and dreams. Bless. Take care, Adam. Have a lovely lunch, my friend. Great to see you. Thanks for popping in, dude. May bless you. I really appreciate your time. We have been so fortunate over the years to have had these wondrous stories emerge that we're able to share with the community. Darlene Brander, CEO of Wanasquin Heritage Park, said, "Today it's our duty to share this story as our call to reconciliation by shining a light on the distinct and beautiful cultures of the Northern Plains people." Look at that stunning photo. So I'm guessing that this in the background, I'm thinking it's mountains. I don't think it's a montage of that old rock. And then these gorgeous bison. I'm assuming that these are that little herd that they introduced. The 6 females, the bull, and then a couple of calves. Wow. The petroglyphs were the first ever found on the 600-acre site, and the placement was particular. 380 yards straight on from the boulders was a notable area for native hunters, a buffalo jump, where herd animals could be spooked into running right off the edge of a cliff. So this was a classic way, and has been for hundreds of thousands of years, that bison in particular, but other large mammals, were hunted. And they would create like a V shape. So they would put mounds of stones, and then the hunters, there would be usually 6, would take a placement behind each of these mounds that come in, making a V shape like this. And then on the other side would be 3 or 4 other hunters who would be wearing wolf skin. So as they progressed towards the bison who would automatically be spooked by seeing these wolves' heads, you see, and they would herd them gradually towards this V shape, which ultimately pointed them to the edge of a cliff. They would then all rise up and scare the bison, who would run, following typically the bulls, the leaders of the herd, and run right off the cliff. They would massacre dozens of bison, and then they would all be, butchered and stored for meat for the winter. A massive cull, and of course a seasonal hunt as well. So these bison would ultimately move on, and then they wait for another herd to arrive. But yeah, that's kind of how they did things, which is interesting. While the Dakota believe large rocks are sacred, should be left where they are, the elders agreed that sharing the ribstone and the others with the world would be acceptable. Wanasquin is a pending UNESCO World Heritage Site. That's great. And such objects are important parts of telling the story of the sacred place. So there you go. Isn't that amazing? I think that's going to do us today, guys. Those were essentially the big new good news stories. There's a few others, but we'll save them for next week. Why don't we? Yes, I agree. I've moved my thing over here. There we are. Here I am. So, I hope you've enjoyed today, my little return on a Wednesday. I'm going to be hopefully doing the live show on Friday as well. So I hope you'll join me if you're a Team Rokk member. Much appreciated if you are, bless you. And thank you for sticking around as well. I was heartened that nobody, not one of you, dropped out. So thank you for that. It means a huge amount to me. It genuinely does. Now, please leave a like. I know I put a cheeky poll up. I see that not all of you said 100% that you had. But I hope you did in the end. I really appreciate it. So thank you so much. I'm going to do a little like myself. There we go. Always like to like my own work. So yeah, Friday for members only. We'll do a little giveaway as well this week, and that will be very, very good. I hope you've enjoyed today. I hope it's lifted your spirits a little bit, made you just feel like it's been a decent little Wednesday. Oh, Crystal, thank you so much, my love. We love you too. I love you too. Well, we all love you. There's no question of that. And of course, massive big news today. Ryan's birthday is the best news of the day. So Ryan wins a free game, ladies and gentlemen. And I will be giving you that game after the show, my friend. I'll have a little look in the pot, see what decent games I've got, and I shall be gaming you up. And of course, big happy birthday as well to Ray's daughter. Bless. Hope you're having a fantastic family day planned. You're going to be seeing your daughter, Ray. I don't know if you live locally or not. I have a feeling, something telling me that she's not local to you, but I'm sure you'll be talking and having a fantastic birthday. So that's amazing. And of course, to all of the rest of you as well that have got some good news that you've been able to share. Martin says, as an 80s kid, I wanted to be a treasure hunter. Wow. Why not? Why not treasure hunt? You know that amateur archaeology is a big thing. You can get yourself a metal detector. Always get permission, of course, from the owner of the land before you start wobbling around with your spade. But a lot of people get a huge amount of pleasure from weekends, going to various fields. And of course, fortunes have been made. Some of the biggest finds in the last 10, 15 years have been from amateur archaeologists who've stumbled across gold hoards, buried treasure. I'm not sure about anywhere else in the world, but certainly in the UK, they have to be paid. It's finders keepers, and they will be paid by the state millions of pounds, depending on its true value. So it's definitely worth doing as a hobby. So yeah, go treasure hunting, my friend. Absolutely do it. Right, I'm out of here. I don't know what's for my dinner, but I shall find out. I'm still playing Alan Wake 2. I got so excited the other day. I was like, yes, I've nearly finished. I'm on the final chapter. Only to find that I was probably only about halfway through. Because I'm not going to spoil it. Yeah. But go and play Alan Wake 2. And there's so many great games out at the moment. I will see you Friday. Have a fantastic week in the meantime. Don't forget, tomorrow is Rokk Players. A great show last Thursday. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. Brilliant panel. Amazing panel. And I'm sure Bjorn's going to do a fantastic job tomorrow as well. So look forward to that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for popping in. I really appreciate it. I'm going to go and chill out. Enjoy the rest of the day. And I'll see you, if you remember, on Friday. If not, I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.